Well, to shoot real straight with you, I'm just a carpenter who happens to own a sawmill. But I have learned a few things. I think it's a little bit over 2 years. Anyway, I have learned some things. I mean, I'd watched a lot of sawmill videos, you know. I think I got that plenty full. To be quite honest, on most of them, rarely any of them talked about the maintenance that they have to do. I mean, they might, you know, a little bit here and a little bit there, but stay on top of this thing. You know? I mean, it's just like any other small engine. If you don't take care of it, you know, keep constant check on it and whatnot, then it's probably gonna come up to bite you sometime. Who put that on there? So the number one thing that I've learned since owning this machine is the amount of time it takes to keep it maintained. Now, I don't want to discourage you if you're thinking about getting one, but let's keep it real. That's something that, you know, you really need to take into consideration. If you're gonna get one, you're gonna maintain it, or it's not gonna do what you want to do, okay? Now what we want this mill to do today is, I'm working on a little remodeling project, redoing, refurbishing, making like new, a bathroom and break room for a friend of mine that has a business. And we're trying to do it as economically, save as much money as we can in the process. So one of the things I need to do is I need to make some baseboard. Now, if you've ever worked in a cabinet shop with poplar, you know that poplar really paints up nice. And so I've got a poplar log or two around here, and I'm gonna try to make some absolute perfect, drop dead gorgeous. If I could make them 8-inch, I would, but I don't think I can do that. But I think my poplars are big enough to make 7-inch baseboard. So here's the goal. I'm gonna try to make perfect as I can. I'll probably go ahead and cut these at, I'll probably go ahead and cut them at 1-inch thick, and then run them through a router, put a little profile on one edge on the top. So that's the goal here, the reason I'm trying to get set up, get that done. I guess another big thing, and this should come as a surprise to no one, getting materials onto your mill and off your mill, it's a big deal. I ain't gonna kid you. Now, you're just sawing a log every now and then, maybe it's not that big a deal, but it's something that's gotta be taken care of. And the third thing, and this probably goes along with the second thing, the first thing being the maintenance that you have to do. Of course, the greasing is part of the maintenance too, so maybe that goes along with the first thing. But the second thing is, maybe I've already said this, moving materials. You got to move materials. And in moving materials, and this is probably something, it's definitely something that I've learned, but probably something that most people don't consider or think about. Racking and stacking your lumber. It's probably, other than sawing your lumber, and it's probably more important than sawing your lumber, is properly racking and stacking it. And it takes time. And if you're not willing to, I mean, this is something I've had to learn. If I'm not willing to properly stack, rack my lumber, then I'm really wasting my time milling it, because all you're gonna get is warped up lumber you might can sell to somebody building boats. So anyway, I gotta move some stuff, and that's a part of the yard too. And I don't know if that comes in under, I guess that comes in number 2, maybe number 3, I don't know. Constantly, something I didn't think about before I bought a mill, but after I've had it at time, I realized you're constantly moving materials around, especially depending on how limited the space is, and our space is a little bit limited here. constantly juggling and moving stacks here or there so that you have room for this or that or the t'other. That's a fun part of milling, I reckon. I think I'll see what I can get out of that. Boy, it's amazing. This is a 4x6 popper, and I bet it does, and it's close to 8 feet long. I bet it doesn't weigh 10 pounds. Popper just dries out. It's been so long since I run this thing, I about forgot how. That's a pretty big log there. That ought to finish this out with no worries. I milled a bunch of other poplar off of this same tree. This was a tree that was dying. It wasn't dead, but it was rotting over there near the driveway. I don't know how many saw logs it had in it, but it had a bunch. So what we're looking for is 1x7s. If we can't get 1x7s out of that, there ain't no hope. We hadn't flipped this thing over in a while. Let's give it a shot. I mean, if you got it, use it, right? This bottom board here's got the pith in it, but still not work. I don't know. Got the rainbow colors too in it. Guess you call that a rainbow poplar. I don't know. So I guess you might say, if I had to write down, if somebody was asking me, and they hadn't nobody asked me, but if somebody was asking me, Steve, what's been the biggest surprises for you since you got a sawmill? Like I say, it's been right around 2 years, maybe a little over. And also, like I said, I'm not a sawyer. I am a little bit of a carpenter. So you can take what I say with a grain of salt, okay? But number one is maintenance. You gotta spend time keeping stuff up. I mean, that's just a big part of it. And then this thing here, it's been sitting there for a month, and I left the blade tension on it, and that's not a good, didn't seem to hurt it anything. I didn't have it terrible tension, but goodness gracious, it's been through single digit weather and everything. Here it is nice today. Ain't no telling. I thought it, I don't know, but anyway, you got to take care of maintenance stuff. Secondly, it's, and I knew this going in, and I'm fortunate to have the equipment, but I knew going in, loading and unloading logs was going to be a thing. And so that's something you really got to have a consideration. Number three is how much you got to move around the yard, regardless of what size it is. And of course, the smaller it is, the more difficult it is, because you have to move stuff more and more if you don't have a bunch of space. But, you know, being able to get 2 logs and moving stuff, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. And then racking and stacking, probably the most important thing that, you know, I've found out, because I've done a bad job of it at times. I'm trying to get better at it because, I mean, you know, I'm wasting my time milling lumber if I'm not going to stack it and rack it right. It's going to dry, it's going to warp, it's going to twist, it's going to bow, it's going to get ugly in a hurry, especially poplar. So racking and stacking is really important. And then something I hadn't mentioned yet, your offcuts, your slabs. You know, you got to get shed of those somehow. I got a big bunch of poplar here I got to get rid of. Those are the surprises, if you will, that I've had in owning a sawmill. Getting a roof over it was huge. I'm so grateful for that. A lot of it, I guess, my perspective is colored by owning a manual mill, what some people call an entry-level mill. And someday my ship might come in and someday I might upgrade, but for the long foreseeable future, I don't see it happening. So me and the WM here, it stuck with me and I'm thankful to have it. How's that? Hope I hadn't wasted your time. Maybe something that I said, if you're considering a mill, might be a benefit and help to you. And if you're just interested in, you know, what it looks like for a fellow who has one, that's sort of my take on it. So guys, I appreciate your support, and that'll about do it. I'll see you in the next one.